Welcome back to another episode of Holla At a Scholar. You rolling with your street professor. And I want everybody to open up their ears, take out your pens and your pads, your smartphones, fasten your seatbelts because we're about to take this thing to another level. Holla At a Scholar. Welcome back to another edition, Holla At a Scholar. You're talking to your street professor, you guys. I want to thank everybody for their support. Man, the podcast is on fire. And I'm on fire, man. I want to talk about some things today, okay? And listen, the Street Scholar today is going to jump into it again, you guys. I'm going to jump right into it. This podcast today is dedicated to young people. That's right, young people, millennials. I'm dedicating this podcast today to millennials. That's right. And we're going to talk about something. I'm going to talk to all of the millennials. We're going to talk about education. That's right, education. A lot of millennials out there don't want to hear about education. Don't give me nothing about this education. I tried education. I didn't been to school. I didn't been to college, man. I'm still at home with my parents. I'm broke. I don't have any money. I've been looking for a job and I can't find a job. Well, listen, if that's you, I don't want you to feel left out because most millennials are doing the same thing. They're sitting around without a job. They went to college. They got a degree. But guess what? Somebody gave them a bad bill of goods. Somebody sold them a dream. Somebody told them they could be this, they could be that, they could be this. And they believed it. They went to college, they put their time in, they worked hard, they graduated, they had that cap and gown on, they had fun, they were so excited, and they got out in the real world and they found out that it's not easier than what they thought. Right? Talking to the millennials right now. But listen. There's some good news, but I'm going to talk to you guys first about the bad news. I'm talking about miseducation. That's what we're going to talk about today. The miseducation, what they don't teach you in school. So we're talking about miseducation. What do I mean by miseducation? I'm talking about miseducation, which means you've been given the wrong information. So we're going to talk about it today. So this topic is very dear to me because I want to start off first with the bad news, like I said. The first thing is this, you guys. The millennials today have zero savings. The millennials have zero savings. What does that have to do with school? It has a lot to do with school. Because when people are trying to pursue their purpose, whether or not if whatever degree or whatever career they're trying to achieve, why are you trying to achieve that dream, that career, right? And most millennials, when they go into school today, college, they're not even, how can I say it? They're trying to pursue certain trades or certain things that they want to do. If they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer, they want to be an educator, or they want to be whatever they want to be. I would urge all the millennials today to make sure that you examine what you want to be ahead of time. Because here's the thing, you guys. The average millennial changed their major at least 4 times. The average millennial changed their major at least 4 times. Now, you notice that the street professor talked about finance just a few minutes ago. The reason I say the average millennial changed their major at least 4 times, because every time they change their major, guess what happens? It raises up their debt. That's what happens. And the average millennial changed their career at least 4 times, or their major at least 4 times. And it's just more debt and more debt and more debt. Now, listen, that debt, it goes even further because in today's society, the average 40-year-olds still have college debt. That's right. Still have college debt. And most of them, most individuals are doing something totally opposite than what they tried to pursue or achieve when they were going to school. So here's the thing, you guys. If the millennials have zero savings, if the average person have college debt in their 40s, along with that zero savings, man, that's a losing equation. Wouldn't you say that? So here's the thing. I want to give you guys some nuggets, some information that's going to help you, especially young people. If you're going to college and you're pursuing something, the first thing you want to do, you want to actually investigate what you're trying to pursue. Because here's the thing. Could it be that you're paying for an education that's actually going out? What are the new jobs in the future? So here's what I'm trying to say. If you're pursuing to be a newscaster, did you know that the news industry is totally changing? Millennials? You know, it was a time where we are now currently, where people are pretty much, newscasters are running on the scenes and the scene rather, and saying, hey, I'm here reporting from this place, from that place, from this place. I'm here reporting that. But now we got drones running to that place, recording that. It can actually get close up to what's really going on. So things are changing. So if you're pursuing whatever it may be, whatever major you may be pursuing, make sure that you do your due diligence. Make sure that you're investigating where your career is going, where your trade is going, because if not, you could be paying for an education that's going out when something new is coming in. That's a tip. That's a nugget I'm taking out of the safe for you guys. Also this, I want to let you guys know this. When you go to college, this is something they're not telling you. When you go to college, college does not teach you how to get out and create a job for yourself. College teaches you how to get out of college and go work for corporate America. Now, if corporate America is falling in terms of opportunities, jobs, you guys see this every single day. You see major corporations closing down every single day. Just recently, Forever 21, number one, well, a real prominent retail store, bankruptcy. So we see all these things falling right before our eyes. Automation, artificial intelligence taking place, which means in the next 5 years, you guys, I like at least 9 million jobs displaced due to artificial intelligence. So all these things are taking place in this new industry, and most people are just pretty much outdated. So corporate America, what happens is we go to college, they teach us how to go to college and get a career per se, and you get out of college, and what do? You go right to corporate America, and there's no job available for you. So here's the thing for the millennials. What's wrong with you learning how to become an entrepreneur? What's wrong with you learning how to do for self? So I have news for you guys. If you don't do for self, you're going to suffer the consequences. Simply because America does not have any jobs for you any longer. You have to create a job. That is the new norm. The new norm today is create a job. Get educated, because education is the key. I agree 100%. But don't get an education that's going to put you in the same rat race where you're just doing the same thing over and over again. You have to become an entrepreneur. And what is an entrepreneur? Most people don't even know what an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is a person that takes risk. I'm going to say that again. An entrepreneur is a person that takes risk. Now, here's the thing. I want you guys to hear this. I don't understand this. A person can work on a job 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years, pretty much staying in the same place, in the same condition, and versus a person that's working 2 years for themselves, 2 years investing in themselves. The person who works 2 years investing in themselves think that's a long time. Versus the person that's working 20 years or 15 years or 10 years on the job, staying broke. A person that takes 2 to 3 years investing time in themselves could become successful as an entrepreneur. So young people, you got to invest in yourself. So take out 2 to 3 years investing in yourself totally. Because here's the thing, the street scholar want to say this to you guys. I would rather work 18 hours a day for myself versus work 8 hours for someone else. 18 hours a day for myself versus 8 hours for someone else. So you guys got to look at the model. What is the model? The model is this. I'm going to college. I don't really know what I really want to be. I'm being influenced by my parents. My parents want me to be this. My parents want me to be this. My friends say I should be that. I don't really know what I want to be. So I choose something that I really wasn't sure about. And then I go into it and I find out that this is really not me. So I change my major. So I incur more debt. Think about that, you guys. I said an average college student gets out of college with about $25,000 debt. So I incur more debt. So I change my major. I incur more debt. Okay? So what I'm doing is I'm just having debt. That's what I'm doing. So you don't want to do that. So you want to make sure, first of all, that you do your due diligence, like I said before, and make sure whatever you're trying to pursue, make sure that it's a spot for you. Make sure that it's something that is active, something that is hot. You want to go into the next hot thing. You want to make sure that your career is something that's going to be stable. So make sure that's going to be stable. So it doesn't matter if it's the medical field. You better make sure within the medical field is your job or your career still going to be around? That's what you got to do. So you got to do some investigation. So you don't want to do the same thing what most people do. Like I said, they change their majors. They basically get out of college and they go look for a job. They don't find that job. They get depressed. They're at home with their parents, like most millennials. And guess what? They don't do anything. They allow their dreams, they allow their destiny to be buried. So don't get caught up into the same rat race. What I mean by rat race, it's a rat race, which means when you get caught up into that 9 to 5 mentality, what happens is this, you guys. What happens is you get up in the morning, you wake up, not because you want to wake up, you wake up because you got to get to your gig, and then you fly off your gig to your job. The hustle and bustle through the traffic, whatever you have to do, bus, whatever transportation may be. Then you get to your job. And then you work your job from 9 to 5. And then after 9 to 5, you're tired, you're burnt out. So you're on your way home. Then when you get home, you eat, you're further burnt out. And then after you get through eating, guess what happens? You go back to bed. And then you wake up the next morning with the same vicious cycle. So it's just a vicious cycle. You can't win that way. So here's the thing, you guys. You got to get rid of the rat race. You got to take your destiny and you got to put it in your own hands. Because I got news for you guys, young people. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare today. I'm going to say that again. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare today. So you got to get prepared now. What's coming? Because let me tell you guys something. We're in a very volatile market. We're seeing Fortune 500 companies tumble right before our eyes. Things are falling down. Don't put your destiny in someone else's hand. You got to get prepared. Young people, it's unlimited, the future. There's so many opportunities for you guys, but you're not going to be able to win if you don't take an entrepreneurial standpoint, which means you got to take your education and you got to learn about financial education because they don't teach you that in school. They don't teach you about finance. They don't teach you about finance. And here's the thing. You guys got to keep something in mind. There are more, oh my God, when it comes down to minorities, there's more minorities in jail than in college. And the average college student, I want you guys to listen to this. The average college student, it costs about maybe, I would say, $60,000 or $70,000 a year to house a prisoner. And the average minority makes about $13,000 a year, but it costs about $70,000 a year just to house one prisoner. So you would think that the system would put more money toward education and less money toward incarceration. You see? Because this street scholar is saying this. It seems like education is really a threat in America today. Because how is it possible that a school teacher can barely make a living, but sports players make millions? See, you can have a lot of money, but if you don't have a lot of financial education, if you don't have a lot of education, you're going to go broke really, really quick, really soon. So I want you young people to know one thing. It's not all about money. It's about education. It's not about being miseducated. It's about education. You have to educate yourself. That's number one. And number two, you got to get prepared for whatever you're trying to pursue. And number three, you got to pull the trigger, which means if you do have a job, which I call a jail operating as a business, I said that, a jail operating as a business, it's temporary. If you have a job, turn your 9 to 5 into your 5 to 9. What does that mean? Your 9 to 5 into your 5 to 9, which means I'm going to work from 9 to 5, but when I get off, I'm going to turn it back on and work for myself. You got to work harder. And if you spend more time working harder, and like the street professor just told you guys, invest in yourself for at least 3 solid years, I guarantee you guys, you're going to have financial freedom and you're going to have money for a lifetime and not a lunchtime. It's important that you educate yourself. Don't be miseducated. Don't follow the same norm. Don't allow your parents, I don't care who it may be, don't allow your parents or your friends to determine what you want to be in the future. Your dreams are not a figment of your imagination. It's just showing you glimpses of your future. You can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. But make sure you don't get caught up in the matrix, you guys. It's important that you educate yourself. Okay? So the street professor just wanted to drop some gems and some jewels on you guys. I hope this information helped everybody out there. And this is for millennials. So those individuals who are looking at the podcast, make sure that your kids look at this particular segment. make sure that you show a young person this particular segment, okay? So here you guys, I had fun. You're talking to the street professor. I'm gonna save a seat in the classroom for you guys. Don't get caught up with that miseducation. Take care, God bless you guys. I'll see you on another edition of Holla At a Scholar.
I want to thank everybody for rolling with your street professor. We're going to be here every single week. Same place, same time, Monday. And listen, I want you guys to subscribe right now. And if you want to catch up with me, just simply go to RoryDouglas.net. Once again, RoryDouglas.net. Holla at a scholar. I got a seat waiting for you in the classroom. Take care.